Impetuous fire, what is a maid? Ice and desire, the world wags on. A rose will bloom, it then will fade.
Dr. Reisman refused to go on Donahue unless he would agree to show Kinsey's tables, where the child sex abuse data is presented.
26 orgasms in 24 hours. And you tell me how you get 26 orgasms for 24 hours. You know what Dr. Gebhard, he wrote me a letter, which I wish you had up there too, in which he said that oral and manual techniques were used on the children. Now, Phil, I'm going to say that once more. I'm going to say that once more. And if I'm wrong, let them sue me. He said oral and manual techniques were used on those children.
I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood.
In the video from July 9th, the victim is the one sitting in the second seat of the Pinellas school bus with his head down. The violence starts as soon as he stands up to get off the bus.
Poor little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Bam, bam, bam! Power, power, power! Bam, bam, bam! Power, power, power!
All praise and honor be to Yahuwah Elohim, the mighty one of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, who revealed himself to our ancestors through the ministry of Messiah Yeshua and his great apostle Rav Shaul. Since the rise of Enlightenment values in the last century, we have seen ceaseless war, with the atheist regimes committing the most bloody atrocities in world history. To our current circumstances, we need to consider that the Yankee Army of the United States government, which invaded, murdered, and gang raped over 300,000 of our family members down here in the South, was led by a coup of German communists who came over here to the United States after the German Revolution of 1848. Number two, a complete breakdown of the family, so much so that even religious assemblies are impossible to maintain due to the incessant class warfare. Number three, a complete breakdown of religion with the rise of 20th century mysticism as a result of the apostasy against the Bible's teaching on slavery, male supremacy, and polygamy with the abolition and feminist movements of the 19th century. Number four, a full-blown race war incited by the Jesuit order of the Roman Catholic Church, who mentored the father of the civil rights era, A. Philip Randolph. The man who mentored him was a Jesuit priest named John LaFarge Jr. Number five, poverty and massive income distribution into the hands of a few through capitalism and the Industrial Revolution. Number six, the destruction of the natural world by capitalism and the Industrial Revolution, which has been justified by the Enlightenment's rejection of the Bible's usury laws and the emphasis of Darwinian competition with his theory of natural selection and the competition between the species. 7, a genocide of our people, culture, and heritage through educational deception, de facto government-sponsored amnesty, forced integration, and a forked-tongued white guilt narrative created by the Jesuit order in their attempt to destroy the pro-British Protestant Johnson-Reed Act of 1924. Number 8, widespread sexual immorality resulting in an epidemic of sexually transmitted diseases, the production of an international human trafficking industry, and the abortion holocaust, which in our country alone has led to the death of over 53 million people, many of which were tortured to death, having their bodies ripped apart piece by piece. Number 9, the savage sports culture. Ridiculous savage sports culture, with its inherent nihilism and gladiatorial savagery, which has been a result of the downfall of religion and the government-sponsored attack on the Bible. Number 10, the destruction of the farming interests with the invasion of the Yankee Army and the so-called American Civil War and the subsequent pro-capitalist policies of the United States government, resulting in the complete corruption of our food supply. Number 11, the highest crime rates in the world, which has been a reaction and a result of government violence, atheist propaganda, pro-Catholic immigration policies, and multiculturalism. And last but not least, viewer, is it not at least curious that the initial purpose of the Enlightenment, the end of the divine right of kings, and the end of Roman Catholic power in the world has resulted in the exact opposite? In 1909, Bishop Francis Clement Kelly stated in the First American Catholic Missionary Congress, page number 17, that America was no longer a missionary country, but now a Catholic country. Just 6 years before this, Archbishop Quigley, in the Chicago Daily Tribune, May 5, 1903, stated that when the Catholic Church controlled the world, it would destroy all the ancient ways of life of all the peoples in the world and replace them with democracies. Surprisingly, Catholics created the Enlightenment. Atomism was brought to popularity by Catholic Descartes. Heliocentrism was brought to popularity by Catholics Copernicus and Galileo. The most influential educational institution in America, Georgetown University, is a Roman Catholic Jesuit institution. Catholics now dominate our government. Though the majority percentage of Congress is nominally Protestant, the most powerful positions in our government are dominated by Roman Catholics. The Vice President is Roman Catholic. The Speaker of the House is Roman Catholic. The President pro tempore of the United States Senate is Roman Catholic. The Chief Justice, most of the Supreme Court, and even the Chaplain of the House of Representatives is Roman Catholic. The overriding plot of this great calamity is in keeping with the three-age prophecy of Joachim of Flora, wherein it is stated in no uncertain language that world history can be summarized in 3 ages: the age of the Father, which was the ancient Jewish theocracy, the age of the Son, which was the Dark Age feudal Catholic civilization, and the age of the Spirit, which is the establishment of the company of the perfect, the monastic way of life centered in their communist vow of poverty, which includes a strong emphasis on mysticism and a destruction of traditional disciplinary institutions. This is the great thrust of the modern world. All of the great educational, social, legal, economic, cultural, political, and military policies of this government have been for the purpose of destroying all the ancient ways of life, not just the British Protestants, to destroy national identities and justify the need for an international community of equals under the guidance of the United Nations, pursuant to the Roman Catholic doctrine of Ultramontanism. In order to accomplish this, our oppressors are still threatened by 3 great demographics that they see must be destroyed. Number 1, the British and Northern European Protestants, who created the famous Protestant Reformation and broke the power of the Roman Church 5 centuries ago. Number 2, the traditional Catholic, pursuant to Joachim of Flora's Second Age prophecy. Number 3, the ancient enemies of Catholic civilization, the Muslims, who refused to submit to papal supremacy. In order to return the world to a utopian age of simplicity, these Jesuit mystics must employ a complex policy of deception and manipulation, constantly directed to the destruction of these 3 demographics of people. This broadcast is intended to expose the despicable plots against our people and to rescue the American, British, Southern Bible Belt, or at least a remnant of its people, to the creation of a new civilization abiding by the demographic policies of the Johnson-Reed Act of 1924 and the religious policies of the original Torah-observant followers of Messiah Yeshua, who were suppressed and formally condemned in the Catholic Council of Laodicea as Judaizers. This is the completion of the work of our great ancestors who began the Protestant Reformation and the ushering in of the golden age of Messiah Yeshua. Shalom Aleichem. May Yahuwah be with you.